Hey there, you might remember last week I had the Spirits of Norway Vineyard on. They gave me a tasting of their wonderful wine. And today I can follow this pattern of just having a great job. Again, I'm joined by the two Jims. That's Jim Kennedy and Jim McVeigh with the Benjamin Brewing Company. And they're going to let me have a little taste of the goods here. And I'll let you take the reins. What do you want to show me that you have?
Well, first of all, we have 4 howlers. They're a small sample size that we use for demonstrating beers. We have the Bell City Blonde, which is a light beer. We have the Amber Rye, which is kind of an intermediate beer. A Robust Porter, and then we also have a Zombie Candy IPA, which is, these two actually are top sellers in the brewery. We've also brought some samples of the different materials and ingredients that we use. And they just, they're everything from a pale grain to the 2 primary hops that we use, and so that you can see what goes into the beers that we're about to taste.
All right, well, let's start with maybe a pour here, and then we can smell some stuff too. What do you got right there? Okay. That is the Bell City Blonde.
This is the Bell City Blonde. It is the most popular beer in the brewery.
It looks great.
It's an ale style beer. Very light bitterness, very clean and refreshing. And
I'm going to take a sip because I'm on camera right here. It's delicious. I can see why it's your most popular. What kind of people, ask for this one? Is it, because I find when you go to the craft brewery, a lot of times people are like, oh, give me something that tastes like this or that, Why do you think people gravitate to this one?
It's familiar. A lot of the ingredients in it are very similar to what the national breweries will do in their beers. We just don't water it down like they do. So
I see.
I mean, this is probably what Budweiser and Miller Lite taste like before they add 90% water to it.
Man, that's a burn right there. Well, and is this one of your favorites, would you say?
Yeah, this is definitely I would say this is the perfect beer for, there's some people out there, they kind of get put off a little bit by craft beer, and they've heard it's very hoppy and everything like that. This beer is not that at all. If you like your standard type of beer, this is a great.
My dad is really coming around. I know that he's watching. He might kill me for saying that, but he would
love this beer.
Okay, number 2. Tell me what else you have.
Number 2 is a rye ale, and this is basically an amber with about 20% rye grain in it, and it adds a kind of a dry finish to the beer, so that for those that are used to lagers, this is very similar, but it also has the appeal of an amber.
And you can see much darker compared the two. All right, tell me as I take a sip here, give me the director's commentary. What am I supposed to be noticing as I drink
Well,
this?
you'll probably notice that it's kind of bready and yet sweet, and has a dry finish after it clears your tongue.
I love this sort of beer. This is definitely a great one. I love it. I look for the rye on the label when I buy a beer. It's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna have to get a glass of this sometimes when I visit you guys.
Yeah.
Well, there's kind of an Irish tradition where if I never allow anybody to drink without joining in. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Yes, absolutely. Jim, you're Irish. People can probably hear it in your voice, but you are Hawaiian.
No, I'm American.
You're American, born in Hawaii.
And my dad just happened to be stationed in Hawaii when I was born. And my kids always say that, geez, Dad, you're really old.
Yes.
And I always tell them, because I was born there while it was still a territory.
Yes.
Right.
And I say it's better to be old than dead. And,
Let me do one thing before we taste these other two. I actually put out on Twitter a question to the people, asking them if they had any ideas for the Benjamin Beer Company to hit me up. I got a few calls. Here's what they said.
Hey, this is Dan from Caledonia. I think a cool Ben Franklin beer, maybe it could be a double IPA, would be Shock Drop. As in, he helped discover electricity, but no way he would have been able to hold on to that rope. So it's kind of a play on words there. Shock Drop.
Yeah, Jacob, Fred, Racine here. Say Benjamin Franklin, you know what he did for those glasses? He put nearsighted glasses on top of far-sighted glasses, and that's how he came up with it. They should do like a black and tan beer. You know, you got dark beer on top, light beer on the bottom, just like them spectacles, huh?
Mr. Jacob, this is Bill from the north side. I was thinking of your beer question. You know how he's on the $100 bill. They should shred that up and put it around the rim like a margarita. And the best part is that only costs $8. That's my idea.
So obviously people are interested. Great ideas. I love that black and tan idea, honestly.
Well, some of the ideas that they want us to do, the federal government won't allow us to do.
Oh, really?
Right. We're not actually allowed to add more than a very small, minuscule amount of hard liquor to any beer.
Yes.
And I don't want to tell anyone in the IRS that I'm cutting up $100 bills. So.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the beers that you have here.
Okay.
We have time for one more.
One more.
Let's
okay.
choose which one.
Let's do the Zombie Candy IPA.
Okay. Yes,
the
sir.
Zombie Candy IPA is a Citra hopped IPA, and again, it's one of our top-selling beers. It's probably back and forth between 1 and 2 inside the brewery. And the way this is designed to respond is instead of getting the bitterness right in your throat, it's more up on your tongue and the top of your mouth, and it just hangs there so that you don't get that bitter beer. It's like,
I can taste the Citra hops. I love them.
Right.
And I hope that people check you guys out because we are at the end of the show. This is worth going to visit. But anyways, if you have an idea for Racine and me, I'd love to hear from you. Send an email to racineandme@cbs58.com or connect with me on Twitter @ReporterJLK. One of your ideas could become our next show. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week, same Racine time, same Racine channel for another exciting edition of Racine and Me, Jacob Kittilstad.